It's the grandson of Right Thought. So this message is for all the empaths, empathic people. People that have found it difficult to be appreciated, for their actions to be reciprocated. You people. This message is for you guys. A lot of times we spend a lot of our time talking about the narcissists and their problems, people with MPD, borderline personality disorders. We focus a lot of our attention on them because those seem to be the people that we find ourselves in relationships with. If you are indeed an empath, you find yourself in a relationship with narcissists quite often. Most of the people that you're around are narcissists. Now, the reason why this is happening is because you as an empath still have defects that you have to face. And it's okay that you have these so that you can learn to overcome them. But you have to recognize them first. You have to know they exist. So with you empaths, your issues are, your feelings are involved in other people's feelings. So you have a hard time differentiating the difference between the two. For instance, you wake up in the morning and you go to your spouse or person that you're with and you say good morning and you tell them you love them. They may not respond at all. They may just scoff or just turn their head and not say anything. This is when it comes time for you to buckle down, as they say, to recognize what's happening with your feelings when something like that happens. How does it make you feel? Does your vibe start to drop? If you say, hey, good morning, and they don't say anything, or they're in a negative mood, do your vibes start to drop? Because if they do, then you're going into someone else's territory, someone else's jurisdiction. You're blending into their life when you shouldn't. You have to keep yourself separated. You have to keep your feelings and emotions separate from those around you, those people that you're around you. Because when you don't separate them, do you know this, that you're being a control freak yourself? You're trying to control this person's feelings instead of coaxing them or encouraging them. You try to force them to feel better. A lot of empaths are doing this. You take it so personal. You're very sensitive. These are things that you have to accept as an empath. See, sensitive is tender-hearted. Tender means sensitive, guys. When you touch a wound and it's tender, you go, as soon as you touch it, you go, oh shit, it's very tender. Abba wants your heart to be like that. But that doesn't mean that you have to allow it to be affected by other people's feelings. Yes, you're going to feel it because you're very tender. So that means that it doesn't take much energy or much effort for you to feel it. You're just going to feel it. And when you do feel it, what do you do with it? Is the question. Do you pray for them? And we had a video earlier talking about prayer and what it truly is. Do you pray for the person? Do you maintain your boundaries with your emotions and your feelings? Do you keep them separated from other people's feelings, being able to differentiate the difference? Stop being so offended so easily by the actions of others. As an empath, you have to stop being so sensitive. And then saying, well, I was just trying to help this person out. I was just trying to this. I was just trying. Empaths are quick to say that. I was just trying. Use your empathy with wisdom. You see? Blend the two together. Empathy and wisdom. That way you're not getting taken advantage of, and you're not taking advantage of anybody else. You're not overstepping people's boundaries. People can feel how they want to feel. Don't you know that? They're allowed to feel their own feelings. It's their feelings and not yours. You're allowed to feel your own feelings as well. You see? You're allowed to feel how you would like to feel, so that other people are too. And just because maybe you as an empath don't understand why they feel the way they feel, doesn't mean that it's wrong that they feel the way they feel. You understand? It doesn't mean that it's incorrect. But a lot of times as empaths, we want to control somebody else's feelings. That's the defect. That's wrong. You can't control someone else's feelings. You can't control what they say, what they do, how they feel, their attitude, their thoughts. That's their stuff. And it's best that you leave their stuff alone. You don't want people messing with your stuff. See, a lot of times empaths don't understand that they create drama for themselves. A lot of times, a lot of arguments are started because the empath is offended because he went to extend some type of tenderness or some type of love or grace or whatever it is, compassion, and it wasn't received as such. It wasn't received as such. And when that happens, then he's all in his feelings. The empath is all in his feelings. Oh, man, I was just trying to do a good thing and be a good friend to you, man. You don't appreciate anything I do. And then we start going with the childish always, never statements. You always, or you never. Going back and forth. When you just need to realize, take inventory, observe and comprehend. That's how we do it. We observe what we're looking at, and then we comprehend it, and then we accept it. So if somebody's in a bad mood, you wake up, you say to your spouse, you roll over and say, hey, good morning, baby. And they're like, ugh. Then you just go on about your day. Okay, they're a little upset about something, obviously, but I ain't. So let me go on about my day. Maybe you try to encourage them. Hey, are you okay? What's going on? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, well, when you're ready, I'm here. Go on and go make you some oatmeal or some shit. Go relax, drink you some tea. Go read, go meditate. Focus on keeping your vibrations where you're able to continue to be a healer, to continue to be a counselor, to continue to be a friend. You can't do those things if you're drained of all your energy. You can do it if you're maintaining your energy. And how do you maintain it? By the spiritual disciplines. You separating, taking those breaths when you need to. Not someone else. Hold on, you wait a minute now. No, you wait a minute. You take the time that you need. Nobody can force you. Don't you know when people ask you a question, empaths take time to understand this too, because remember, you're tender, which means you're going to lash back quick. See, to defend yourself. Look, don't you know that nobody can force you to answer a question when they ask you a question? They can't make you say anything. So then take your time. Answer correctly. Take a couple breaths first. Think about your answer. Don't just lash out and react. See, when you're dealing with somebody who's tender-hearted, all you gotta do is keep poking the wound. Hey, stop poking me. Ouch, 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 ouch. See? You see? You have to learn how to take the feeling. Think about it if it's a penis, a phallus. And it's very, 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 very tender, which means as soon as it's touched, then it's going to let loose. We'll say let loose. Okay? So this person who has this very tender phallus may have to get used to it being touched. Learn how to get used to it so that they can maintain themselves. You see? It's the same thing with a wound. You learn how to get used to it being touched. Same thing with your heart. You learn how to get used to it being touched. Then it's not so tender anymore. It's still the same heart. It's still the same wound, but you're able to accept the touching of it without reacting. That's how you have to do with your feelings are being touched, when your intellect is touched, when your ego is touched. You learn to just let it go. That's their opinion. You learn to walk away even if somebody thinks negatively about you, and that's very hard as an empathic person. You want everybody to like you. See? You want all the people around you to think highly of you, to think good of you, because that's what you believe about yourself. See, a lot of empaths think, I'm a good person. I've heard people say it. Why would that happen to me? I'm such a good person. You better stop saying that, because ain't nobody good but Abba Yah, so you need to humble yourself. I told you, narcissist and empath, pay attention. Narcissist and empath both have forms of narcissism before they're brought to balance. They both do. So all you empaths that are running around pointing the finger at the narcissist saying they're this, they're this, they're this, without facing your own narcissistic traits, then you're in denial. Because it's narcissism for you to think that you can control another person's feelings. That wasn't why the empathy was given to you, to control another person. It's to encourage another person, so that you can Understand how they feel and give them the proper help that they need if they accept the help. It's like a person with broken legs, that the legs don't work, and they've fallen out their wheelchair, and you try to help them up and pick them up and put them back in the chair. Say, get the fuck off me, man. Don't touch me. I don't need you to touch me. I don't need your help, man. I got it. They're struggling like a motherfucker. Sometimes you just got to let them struggle. You see? And the same thing goes with a friend you have or a spouse you have. Sometimes they'll snap and say, get off me. I got it. I can do it on my own. And you just say, okay. Instead of going, hey, man, I was just trying to help, man. I was just trying to be a good friend. No. Remember, this is not about your emotions. I told you, your emotions are given to you as a helpmeet to help you distinguish what it is you're looking at and what it is you're dealing with. That's what it's for. Not to be the end all. Your emotions aren't to be the last thing that you consider before you respond to somebody. No. They're the signal that's letting you know what information is coming. That's sad information. That's happy information. That's stressful information. Those things, guys, your emotions are going to help you decide what you're dealing with. So then you know how to help and encourage this person to better vibes, to higher vibrations. But you can't force them to do it. You're going to take this medicine, man, no matter what you think. You're going to take it, you're going to drink and swallow it down. You can't force people to take it. You can just offer it to them. Hey, what do you think I should do about this? Well, this, and this will work. I don't think that should work. I'm going to do this. Okay. Well, you can try that. It won't work, but you can try it. Then they find out for themselves. Then they come back to your advice and say, well, damn, maybe that nigga was right. See? It ain't personal. Just about truth and lies. See? What's true and what's not true. And when you understand that, then your emotions get out of it. Your feelings get no longer involved in it. You see? If a husband and a wife are facing a situation and a decision has to be made, well, that you expect them to deliberate, and then at the end of that deliberation, you expect the man to come forward and say, this is the decision that we've come to. So it's the same with you, with your husband and wife within yourself. When something happens and your feelings say, hey, we don't like that, that's wrong. Then the husband side of you comes and says, yeah, you're right, we don't like that shit. But it ain't personal, baby. So don't take it personal. Don't lash out. Just sit tight. Sit back and relax. We got this. That's you talking to your emotions or your feelings, your wife on the inside. So then you think, what are we going to do about this? See? That's the husband. What are we going to do? Makes a decision. Well, what do you think about this? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That's the husband. It's the husband and the wife inside of yourself talking. Then they make a decision. Then the man going to talk. All right, this is what we going to do here. See? It's no different. So you just have to understand that you can't force it. You can't force other people. You can't make them do anything. They're literally going to do whatever that they're going to do. It's not up to you to force them to get in line, to do anything. See, this goes across the whole thing. You think that's good being that way. Think about it if you had a child and you just forced your child to do everything that you felt was right, and you just forced them to do it. Sometimes you have to give them free will. You have to say, okay, let me just sit back and watch and see how they'll handle this. Even if you know that it's not going to work, let them find out for themselves sometimes. Tell them, warn them, but sometimes you have to let them find out for themselves. You don't control your child. That makes it worse. That makes them more rebellious. That provokes your child to wrath, which we were instructed not to do. So you have to learn how to give advice and then give way. Let that advice work in their life, not you. That's your ego thinking you can save somebody, thinking you can help somebody, thinking you can heal somebody. No, you can't. Abba Yah heals. Abba Yah is the Savior. Abba Yah is the Redeemer. Abba Yah is our salvation. Abba Yah is our high tower. Abba Yah is our fort. Abba Yah is our wall. He is our shield and our buckler. So it's him who works through us as empathic people. He works through us. You see? So let him work through you, not you doing the work, and then it will become less stressful on you. You can pull away when you need to from people. You can step away and take a breath and say, man, they ain't resisting me, they're resisting Abba. Then it doesn't become personal for you anymore. You see? You can't read Abba's word, get some wisdom from it, try to teach it to people, and then feel like they reject you when they reject the teaching. They're not rejecting you because it ain't your teaching. They're rejecting Abba, you see? And once you do this, then you stop trying to be a people pleaser, which a lot of empaths are, unconsciously. They don't know they're trying to just please people with their behavior. They're just trying to be people pleasers. They don't even realize it. They want everybody to like them. They want to always be right. They want to always have their advice taken and acted upon. But it's not you. It's Abba using you. So just get out the way, man. Get your ego out the way. If somebody says, man, hell no, brother, I don't believe none of that shit you talking. That shit crazy. That's your opinion. Because these aren't my ideals. I didn't just wake up one day and come up with this stuff. I'm telling you what the word says about it. So if you reject it, you ain't rejecting me. You see? So then it's not personal anymore. It just falls off of you. That's having the breastplate of righteousness on, right thinking. When you think right, then all the shit just bounces off. Because you're not thinking wrong about yourself or other people. You know that this is Abba's great work. So it's not about personal stuff. You see? So I just wanted to encourage you guys, you elect, you guys that's out here laboring in the kingdom, doing the work. The ones who have a heart today, a tender heart, to learn how to differentiate your feelings, your emotions from the feelings and emotions and thoughts and stuff of other people. Pulling them back and observing. Giving your advice, and when it's not received, simply pulling it back and going on your way without your emotions involved. You see? Silawam Yisrael.